Tonight's meal is coming to you from the town of Rochefort, and it's a little bit different tonight. I've made lentils with saucisson de Toulouse. It's a fancier meal than what I've had previously, and I'm combining it with a bottle of Pinot de Charente, which is a local brew, not well known, but it's basically a sweet fortified wine. As I say, I've gone up market with the meal. Here is the can it comes from, and I've got some fresh bread to go with it. It's coming along nicely. Well, I am now in La Rochelle, and just behind me is St. Nicholas Tower, built in the 10th century. I'm in the old port of La Rochelle, which has been France's main port on the Atlantic coast for the last 900 years. In that time, it's had rebellions, religious rebellions. The Huguenots were based here. The Knights Templar were here until they were expelled. And it has some quite unique port architecture. But I'm not going to be staying here tonight because I haven't got myself organised. So instead I'm going to have to go find somewhere to camp. Well, it's coming up for 7 o'clock. I've been cycling along the edge of the Atlantic Ocean for the last 10 kilometres. My problem is I don't have anywhere to sleep still, and there's a strict no camping sign posted a number of times along this route. So I'm just going to have to keep going until the no camping signs disappear. It's a shame because it's been a hot day today, up almost 30 degrees, and but a cool breeze coming from the sea, from the ocean rather. Wouldn't be a bad place to stop. But as it is, unlikely to find anywhere to stop for food tonight. I do have some licorice. I do have half a bottle of Orangina. No wine. But we'll see how the evening progresses. I have always found it difficult to work out symbols. What we can see here, I think, is a dog with a spear out the back of its neck. Here is, I think, a grandfather walking his grandson and needing some help. That's why he's wearing a walking stick. This is, I don't know what that is. This means no fire. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, and I think that's something about picking flowers, maybe. If I've got 1 out of 7, that's not too bad. That's going to be my official excuse if the police come along and see where I am camped. Fortunately, I'm just on the edge of a car park with several caravans, so I'm not adding to the net misery of humanity and the cause that it's having on the natural environment. So as you can see, Atlantic Ocean behind me, the sunrise. Anyone see the sunrise? It's up there somewhere. Well, there's a sunrise out there. Sunrise behind me at 7:20 a.m. Did I say that? but I'm all packed up and ready to start a new day. And everybody in the campers and the camper parks are fast asleep. So I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but if there was a Nobel Prize for getting a good night's sleep and packing up early in the morning and heading away before the police arrests me, I think I'd probably win it. I'm now in La Vendee, in the Pays de la Loire, about 20 kilometres down. I've had breakfast from a boulangerie and about 50 kilometres to go to, I think, is my campsite. I've sent them an email, but not sure if they will answer. It's going to be a fairly flat route along the ocean most of today, and I wouldn't say I enjoy it, but it's becoming less hateful. I'm now riding through a bit of forest, which now the temperature's up around 30 degrees. Having a bit of shade along the path is a bit of a relief. Quite often on these forest tracks there's a lot of corrugations and ruts, and it's not very pleasant to ride on, but here in La Vendee it's actually very smooth. Most of the cycleway has either been pavement or very smooth track. It's a nice relief. A lot of people ask me, now that I am a global expert on cycling, all sorts of personal questions. The kind of questions they never asked me before, and one of the most prominent one is, how is your arse? Now, my mother never taught me to ask those questions of people. And thing is, they don't seem to be asking that question out of concern for my well-being, but so that they can laugh at me when I start complaining about it. So far, for the record, my freckle is fine. Well, I arrived at my campsite at 2:30 this afternoon. Fairly well settled, as you can see. It's now just past 8 p.m. It stayed fairly light well after 10 p.m. last night, so just getting used to being so far west rather, and heading north. The days are getting quite a bit longer. I'm about to sort out some dinner. So far, the meal consists of a bottle of Bordeaux Red, €3.50 from the supermarket, and it's obviously a good one because it's got a castle on the label. I'm going to see what I can put together for the meal tonight. I find even if I'm not that hungry halfway through, that I just have to force myself to eat it, because if I don't have a big meal the night before, I feel it the next morning. Tomorrow's Sunday. It's been very hot the last couple of days. It's still about 28 degrees now, but hopefully it will get a little bit cooler soon. It is quite scary how just within 2 weeks of me inventing camp cooking, it has become a real gourmet exercise. Look at that. Tonight I'm quite a fan of Mexican, so I'm doing another chili con carne, and it's good to give it a good stir. You have to be careful when you're stirring one-handed that you don't knock the pot off the rather delicate stove configuration. This has taken quite a bit of effort, as you can see. Tonight it comes from Super U supermarket. couple of euros. Lots of great nutrition. Hopefully it's nice and spicy too. In the last couple of weeks I have learned that when you are camping, you need to pack everything away. We have come to understand birds in New Zealand as creatures to be treasured. Every bird is sacred, every bird is good. Here in France, though, the pigeons are particularly nasty. Not only do they make a pretty horrific brooding sound 24/7, they will find every opportunity to make your life miserable. Just the other day I left my helmet just hanging off this thing, whatever that thing's called that you hold on to when you ride. And during the night, a pigeon came along and shat in the helmet. Not only did he shit in the helmet, but he did it right at the back of the helmet so that I didn't see it until after I'd worn it for a day and took it off and saw some bird shit there. Just earlier this evening, I left my tent just ever so slightly open, and a pigeon from up there decided he would drop one right onto my sleeping bag. I'm not a great fan of birds at this time. Maybe that's something we should teach the French, that our birds stay on the ground. They're very rare. They don't annoy people. They're afraid of people. More fear from pigeons towards humans wouldn't be a bad thing. So there's a storm coming in. It's coming in from over that way, and had thunder and lightning so far and quite a bit of wind. I've only got 4 tent pegs which I have just stuck around the tent, and if the tent manages to survive the night, then that will be a French Atlantic miracle.